Kevin Cochrane, the CMO of VULTR, joins us now. Kevin, welcome to AI Infra in our little chat here.
Great. So happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Good. I'm glad you can make it. And I think my first question is really give me the background of VULTR. I know I've heard of the company. I've met with the company. I heard your presentation, kind of knocked out by all the things that are going on. But for the people listening now, can you give us a little background?
Absolutely. We're the best kept secret in tech. We were started as a group of just network engineers that were basically hosting business starting in 1999. And as they grew the hosting business, started working with some of the largest enterprises, supporting some of the most demanding workloads and helping scale it globally. And in that entire process, the founding engineers realized there was a need for a more cost-efficient cloud compute platform. And that's when they launched VULTR in 2014, pioneering a next-generation cloud compute platform to help developers all around the planet more cost-efficiently scale their application workloads. And so here we are 10 years later, now pioneering a new generation of cloud compute infrastructure with AMD and Supermicro for the age of AI.
Wow. Very interesting. So who did you disrupt when you entered into the market? Who were the leaders at that time, and what was your differentiation?
Well, the traditional hyperscalers were clearly the leaders in cloud compute at the time, and they remain so today. And for the largest enterprises, they've spent the past, 10 years investing in moving workloads to the cloud. And most famously, Andreessen Horowitz called out the $1 trillion paradox, which is all of the cost efficiencies that they wanted to gain, all the operational leverages that they sought, they really didn't get. And at the end of the day, scaling business models on AWS or Azure or Google just simply wasn't cost effective. And so over the course of the past, number of years, people have worried about renegotiating their contracts, repatriating workloads to their own data center. And here at VULTR, we've always had a very different model, which is we're extremely lean and operationally incredibly efficient, and we pass those cost savings on to our customers. And so what this means is we have the services and scale of a traditional hyperscaler with all of the security and all of the compliance, but we're up to 90%. Yes, 90% cheaper.
Wow.
And still maintain a profitable business. Now, many people haven't heard of VULTR unless you're a developer, because developers love it.
You spelled the name of the company wrong, so people can't search for it.
Well, it's actually good for SEO, actually. We're the only company that we're aware of in tech that has scaled north of $100 million profitably without a dime of outside capital, funding the entire build out of the platform on free cash flow, and without having a single person in sales or a single person in marketing. Now, clearly we're changing that because we're trying now to let the world know who we are and what we do and how we can save them up to 90% on core cloud infrastructure so that you can take those savings and you can invest it in AI.
Got it. And part of your strategy or differentiation is working with AMD.
Correct.
The GPU, CPU availability, high availability.
Correct.
Is a certain benefit.
That's correct. So as we heard in one of the earlier keynotes today, whenever there's disruption, there's kind of three phases of disruption. First, you coexist. Then there is true disruption where everything is changing and people are moving en masse trying to figure out some new technology. And then there's basically the integration where they actually start putting it into real production use. And so over the past, year, 18 months, we've been in this disruption phase with AI where everyone's just simply seeking to procure GPUs and start building and training models, okay? But we're now at a new era where enterprises are looking to go mainstream. And what this means is that the architecture and the compute infrastructure they need is very, very different. It's not just about getting one big monolithic training cluster wherever you can happen to source GPUs and power and data center capacity, right? You need to think about distributed computing across all 6 continents, wherever your employees and your customers live and work. And so it's a radically different architecture, and it requires a radically different compute infrastructure, and one that's cost efficient and power efficient. And so this is where the combination of VULTR with AMD and Supermicro comes in, going beyond just monolithic training clusters in a specific geographic region to train a model, and really helping enterprises scale out in distributed compute environment that saves on power, saves on money, and can help deliver the best optimized performance to deliver the best experience to your customers and employees.
Wow. So I was just going to ask, you kind of answered the question already, though, but it seems resource intensive still. And you're still a very small company, at least compared to the hyperscale type companies. So how do you continue to win on that level? And because it would assume that as you're growing, they're watching you as well and seeing what you're doing and have those resources.
Yeah. So one of the benefits of VULTR is that, we are a profitable business, even though we are up to 90% cheaper than the hyperscalers. And yes, 90%. We're still able to fund a very massive capital investment program through our free cash flow. And this is even more true in this day and age of AI, which is we're taking our operational efficiency and putting it to solid work to build out that next generation compute infrastructure that enterprises need with AMD and Supermicro.
Now, will they have their own clouds with you? The AMD cloud and the Supermicro cloud? And
So yes. So every single customer, when they're deploying on VULTR, can set up their own virtual private cloud. National governments can set up their own sovereign cloud. And each of these customers, be it a national government, be it a large-scale enterprise, or even a digital startup, will be able to spin up all of the appropriate resources needed for training and inferring all of their AI models on all of their own dedicated compute clusters. But what's actually even more interesting, I think, from a VULTR perspective, is we go even beyond just the AI model training and inferencing, because we have a 10-year partnership with AMD and Supermicro. We handle all of the cloud compute as well, because remember, you're not just hitting a naked model, you're actually experiencing some sort of mobile application or some sort of website. There's some sort of digital experience that you as a consumer are consuming that's actually now being supported by a backend AI model. And so what we're able to do for the first time is have an integrated compute stack across traditional CPU and new GPUs on AMD, on Supermicro worldwide.
Kevin, I imagine it 90% cheaper.
Yes.
Yes, 90%. That
You got it.
That there's a line outside your door that goes quite long. How are you managing to stay ahead or keep up with the demand and scale yourself?
Yeah, well, we're just now, like I said, scaling our sales and marketing function.
Yeah.
Let the world know how we can help. And, our sales model is very, very simple. Please give us your Amazon bill. Please give us your Google bill. Please give us your Azure bill. And we'll go through it and we'll show you what we can save you. 50%, 60%, up to 90%. And then we'll share with you how you can take those savings and redeploy it in GPUs. So all of that compute infrastructure that you've been relying on the hyperscale, you can now accelerate and turbocharge with AMD.
And from your marketing, are you more vertically focused at a certain ICP or are you horizontal?
So yes and yes. So obviously we're a compute substrate that can support any workload type, as we have over the course of our past 10 years. But we also do take a vertical market approach, specifically with AI. And the reason for this is very, very simple, because enterprises are looking for recipes. They're looking for help in terms of what should they prioritize and how can they de-risk execution to achieve the outcomes they want. So across a variety of different verticals like financial services, healthcare, manufacturing, and a variety of others, we have a very, very detailed inventory of all of the top use cases that we've collated from interviewing over 1,000 C-level executives across all industries. And then for each of those use cases, we have mapped out all of the supporting hardware, all of the supporting software in order to make that effective and make that work. So on a go-to-market side, we want to be highly, highly vertically oriented because that helps us be a better partner and a better consultant to our customers so that we can help them achieve greater success quicker.
Got it. And Kevin, are you hiring in sales?
Yes, we are hiring in sales.
Can you let me know where I can send my resume?
Of course. We need more salespeople right now. The line is getting long around the door.
I can imagine. So a fantastic story, but I know I forgot to ask something. What else can you share with us about VULTR and where it's going looking forward?
So looking forward, we're really excited about our roadmap with AMD. At the upcoming October 10th AMD event, we're also going to be announcing some very exciting, product innovations. And these product innovations all center around how do you do real-time updates to an AI-driven user experience. And again, right now people want to train models, but we need to help them infer the models, put them into production use. That's step one. Step two is how do all of those models that you have in production, how can you update them real time based on all of the operational data that you're continuing to generate second by second in your business? So what we're really excited about is this October 10th, we're going to announce our new I shouldn't tease this, serverless infrastructure for AMD, with all of our integrated support for Kafka and real-time RAG. So we can directly pipe in a secure direct link all of your operational data via an ESB and bring it through Kafka into our real-time RAG database. So every single second, you're getting the most contextually relevant, precise, accurate response for every one of your AI models. It's an architecture that has not yet been debuted anywhere in the world from any cloud provider. And we're super excited to be able to pioneer this with AMD this coming October 10th.
Wow, exciting stuff.
It's going to be game changing.
It sounds great. Any other things you want to share?
No, I guess one other thing, which is in this day and age of AI, there's a lot of excitement.
Yeah.
There's a lot of enthusiasm, and a lot of people are experimenting with new ideas and new concepts and new technology. You have to remember, however, that we need to build in trust from the core of AI. We have a history in Silicon Valley here of moving fast and breaking things. This is one time we want to move fast, but we can't break things this time. We have to build them correct from the get-go. So security, trust, compliance, data provenance, all of these things matter, and all of these things need to be thought of upfront. And here at VULTR, we are highly differentiated amongst alternative cloud providers in our security and compliance. Every ISO certification, every compliance certification, and every one of the geographies we operate. And come talk to us because we want to help you build trust in your AI. We want to help you make sure it's secure. We want to make sure that you have the right guardrails, and we want to make certain that, again, you can move fast, but not break things.
It reminds me of a John Wooden quote. I think it went something like, go fast, but don't hurry.
Right, exactly.
Something like that.
Exactly.
Great to have you share that with us, the exciting story and also a note of caution, because I think that's important as well.
Great. Well, thank you so much.
My pleasure.